Hello, hello, hello. So I am back and I want to talk about a couple things today. What's important is going from good to great in this transportation industry, right? So, what I want to talk about is, guys, that in order for you to be great in driving a cargo van in its business, is that you have to be able to take risks, right? First started this business, I started off, I want to say, doing Amazon, right? And notice that Amazon at the time, they had Black of Time. It was called Amazon, forgot the name of it at the time. But it was kind of Amazon was just coming to Illinois. And you will pull up to a warehouse and they will load you up. You would have to scan your products, right? And then you would have to load them, right? They would give you about 4 or 5 cars. Now, keep in mind, I was driving a Ram ProMaster 2500, and there was cars coming in that was doing the same. They had vehicles, right? Smaller vehicles, and they was doing 4 block hours a time, and they were pretty much getting the same amount that I was. Thought it was kind of unfair because I was doing 3 times as much as work that they was doing, and they was getting paid more. So that's how I kind of started off with Amazon, and not saying it's not a bad thing, but it wasn't for me at the time. It didn't make sense because of the miles that I was driving and putting on my vehicle and the gas, and I was think I was making like $54 for 4 hours. So that wasn't if you do the math, that $54 for 4 hours equate to about $14 an hour, pretty much, or a little bit less than that, maybe $13 an hour. So that's kind of what I was making driving my van. I said, "Oh no, this I can't make $13 driving a cargo van." But at the time, that was the best thing that was out there for me. Then I worked with a company which was Chicago Messenger. And when I worked with this company, Chicago Messenger, they have a whole lot of work that you actually can get from this company. But the only thing about it is, you never know how much money you're going to make when you're picking up each job. They would send you a job and you ask them how much it would pay, and they wouldn't tell you. So you can run around all day long and not knowing how much money you would make that day, right? You would ask sometime the next day how much money you make. And eventually you would find out on a day before you get paid. So can you imagine if you're thinking that you're getting paid big money, and then you're not getting paid big money because the dispatcher wouldn't tell you how much you was making? You can see that you can be very, very disturbed or displeased after you're looking at your check, thinking that it was more than you anticipated. So I done that for a while. And then I started working for a couple companies in the airport, picking up airport packages. And one thing about the airport packages, when you pick up there, a lot of times picking up at the airport. Sorry, let me get my light back on, guys. One thing about when you pick up at the airport, you will you would have to sign in. When you sign in, you might have four to 20 people in front of you. Some company will pay you for wait time. Some company won't pay you for wait time. So it's very important that if you go to the airport, you want to make sure that company, you are getting paid for your wait time and not waiting to an hour or 2 hours. I worked for one particular company. I'm not going to say, but they wouldn't start doing a wait time until 2 hours later. So you would have to wait sometimes 2 hours before you get paid. So that's let me go back again. You had some companies wouldn't pay you. The clock wouldn't start until 2 hours later. Can you imagine how frustrating that was, right? You sitting around 2 hours not getting paid. So that cargo, you better believe that they better pay you. You better negotiate that price in your cargo in the beginning, right? Just in case if you run across, you have to wait 2 hours. I'm only saying this, guys, because when I got in this industry, these are the problems that I was faced with. Now, the great part is not there yet. The good part, I ran into a broker that allowed me to do contract work for several Walmarts. I was driving maybe anywhere from 100 miles to 300 miles. But guys, keep in mind, I ran one trip 100 miles and I got paid $600. I ran one trip 300 miles, I got $1,900 in the cargo van. In the cargo van, I want to say I got paid $1,900 for running 300 miles. That is unheard of in a cargo van. Some of the guys that was driving straight trucks and 18-wheelers was saying, hey, I don't even get that much money. So that is great money. That's not good money. That is great money. But guess what? I had to work for, I want to say 10 companies before I got there. And to this day, that contract ran out. And I was trying to find a way how I can bypass working with, not working with the broker and work directly with Walmart to be able to get those type of jobs. Guess what, guys? Because I was a small entity, right? A small company, I couldn't get those deals. I didn't have my broker license, right? If you had your broker's license, maybe I could have got that contract. So that was a great deal for me. So that deal ran out. I started working for UPS so I want to let you know, guys, UPS is it's called a supply chain, and you can get that information on Google. It's called supply chain, and they hire it all around the country, and they pay you like $10 for the first for the load, 85 cents a mile. That is good for a cargo van, right? I'm still doing that type of work right now. Great thing about it is, guys, you also can use your personal car. You don't need to use a van. 90% of the times, I was not using my cargo van. I was using my other car, right? So, and still doing that right now. What else? The great part, guys, is to continue to build relationship. Continue to go on Craigslist. Continue to go on Indeed. Continue to go on talk to truck drivers. Continue to talk to cargo van guys. You can go to gas stations. Ask some of these cargo vans. They some of them run on the road. Some of them are doing it local. I worked for a company that had good loads, and they was doing local, but the only thing about it is they could not keep me coming back. So when I drop off a load, I had deadhead, and that was a problem. That why it didn't work. And it was a company called Millhouse. They are based in North Carolina. So Millhouse want you to, if I'm not mistaken at the time, they want you to have $1 million insurance, $1 million liability policy, and they want you to have $100,000 cargo insurance. At the time, that cost me $1,300, and I was going through Progressive. So by me being a new company, it cost me a little bit more money. Now, you know, a lot of companies out there will give you that same deal for half of that, right? So I just want to tell you guys, going for good to great. Continue to subscribe through my videos. Continue to tell your friends. I have no problem, guys, not charging you a dime for my information. A lot of people ask me for my email address. The reason why I don't give out my email address, because I get so many people asking me for my email address, and I just ask them to put that information, ask me that information on the platform through YouTube. Because guess what, guys? 90% of the time, someone else is going to ask me that same question. So if you ask me that question, I can answer that question. And guess what? You are helping another person that's in the same boat that you are. Guys, I just want to tell you, do not get frustrated going for good and great in 2020. I want to tell you, keep focused, stay focused, and go make it happen.